The small desert town of Millbrook had exactly 847 people, and Dr. Lisa Rodriguez knew every single one of them. She had been living there for 3 years, working at the government research station just outside town. Most people thought she studied weather patterns, but Lisa's real job was much more interesting. She was looking for signs of life beyond Earth. That Tuesday morning started like any other. Lisa was sitting in her small laboratory, drinking coffee and checking the computer screens that monitored signals from space. The machines beeped softly as they recorded data from satellites and radio telescopes. She had been doing the same routine for months, hoping to find something unusual. At exactly 9:47 a.m., everything changed. The computers started going crazy. Red lights flashed across all the screens. The electromagnetic readings were off the charts, showing energy patterns unlike anything Lisa had ever seen. The signals weren't coming from space, though. They were coming from somewhere in the desert, about 20 miles south of town. Lisa grabbed her equipment and jumped into her Jeep. She had to see what was causing these readings. The desert road was bumpy and dusty, but she drove as fast as she could. Her heart was beating fast with excitement. After years of searching, maybe she had finally found something real. When she reached the location, Lisa couldn't believe her eyes. There, half buried in the red sand, was something that definitely didn't belong on Earth. It looked like a giant sea pod, about the size of a small car. The surface was smooth and dark, with a pattern of lines that seemed to glow faintly in the sunlight. Lisa parked her Jeep and walked closer. The pod was warm to the touch, and she could hear a soft humming sound coming from inside. Her scientific training told her to be careful, but her curiosity was stronger. She walked around the pod, taking pictures and measurements. As she examined the strange object, Lisa noticed a crack forming along one side. The humming grew louder, and suddenly, the pod began to open. Lisa stepped back, her hands shaking as she held her camera. Steam rose from the opening, and a soft blue light spilled out onto the desert sand inside the pod. Lisa saw something that made her forget to breathe. It was a woman, or at least something that looked like a woman. She had long dark hair and appeared to be unconscious. Her skin had a slight glow to it, almost like she was lit from within. When Lisa looked closer, she could see that the woman's eyes, though closed, had unusual violet-colored eyelids. The woman was breathing, but very slowly. Lisa could see her chest rising and falling in a rhythm that seemed different from human breathing. She was wearing a simple white garment that looked like it was made from some kind of material Lisa had never seen before. Lisa knew she had to make a quick decision. She could call her supervisor at the research station, but she knew exactly what would happen. The military would arrive within hours. They would take the woman away, and Lisa would never see her again. The woman would become another government secret, locked away in some underground facility. Looking at the peaceful face of the sleeping woman, Lisa felt something she couldn't explain. This wasn't just a scientific discovery. This was a person, someone who needed help. Lisa made her choice. She carefully lifted the woman from the pod. Despite appearing to be about the same size as Lisa, the woman was surprisingly light. Lisa carried her to the Jeep and gently placed her in the passenger seat. The woman's skin felt warm, but not quite like human skin. It was softer somehow, and that faint glow was definitely real. Lisa drove back to her cabin, which was located several miles away from the research station. She lived alone there, which was perfect for keeping her unexpected visitor a secret. As she drove, Lisa kept glancing at the woman, wondering who she was and where she had come from. At the cabin, Lisa made the woman comfortable on her couch. She covered her with a soft blanket and checked her vital signs as best she could. The woman's pulse was steady but slow, and her breathing was deep and regular. Lisa had no idea what to do next, so she just waited. Hours passed. Lisa sat in a chair nearby, watching and wondering. She had so many questions. Was this woman really from another world? How had she gotten here? Was she alone? As the sun began to set, Lisa started to worry. What if the woman was hurt? What if she needed some kind of special care? just as Lisa was starting to panic. The woman's eyes opened. They were the most beautiful violet color Lisa had ever seen, like precious gems. The woman looked around the cabin, then focused on Lisa. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then something amazing happened. Lisa heard a voice inside her head. But the woman's lips weren't moving. The voice was soft and gentle, like someone speaking from far away. "Thank you," the voice said. "You saved me." Lisa was so surprised she almost fell off her chair. "Did you just talk to me in my mind?" The woman sat up slowly, still wrapped in the blanket. She nodded, and Lisa heard the voice again. "I am sorry if I frightened you. My name is Zara. I come from very far away." Lisa's scientific mind was racing. She was talking to someone from another world, someone who could communicate without speaking. This was the discovery of a lifetime. But looking at Zara's tired face, Lisa realized this wasn't just about science anymore. "I'm Lisa," she said out loud. "You're safe here. Can you tell me why you came to Earth?" Zara closed her eyes for a moment, as if gathering her strength. When she opened them again, Lisa saw something that looked like sadness. "I did not come to hurt anyone," Zara said in Lisa's mind. "My people are dying. I came here to find hope." As the evening grew darker, Lisa realized her quiet life in the desert was about to change forever. She had found what she had been searching for, but it wasn't what she expected. Instead of just discovering life from another world, she had found someone who needed her help. Outside, the desert wind howled softly around the cabin. Inside, two women from different worlds sat together, beginning a conversation that would change both their lives. Lisa didn't know it yet, but this was just the beginning of an adventure that would challenge everything she thought she knew about the universe and her place in it. The next morning, Lisa woke up to find Zara standing by the window, looking out at the desert sunrise. The purple-eyed woman seemed much stronger than the night before, and her skin was glowing brighter in the morning light. "Good morning," Lisa said, walking into the kitchen to make coffee. "How are you feeling?" Zara turned from the window, and Lisa heard her gentle voice in her mind again. "Much better. Thank you. Your son gives me strength." Lisa paused while pouring water into the coffee maker. "Your son? You mean our son helps you?" Zara nodded and walked closer. "My people, we take energy from light, like your plants do. It is how we survive." This fascinated Lisa. She had studied biology for years, but she had never heard of anything like this. "Can you eat regular food too?" "Yes, but light is what we need most." Zara sat down at the small kitchen table. "May I show you something?" "About my world?" Lisa nodded eagerly and sat across from her. Zara held out her hands, palms up, and suddenly the air above her hands began to shimmer. Lisa watched in amazement as images appeared, floating like a hologram between them. The first image showed a planet with purple skies and silver cities. The buildings looked like they were grown rather than built, with curved walls and organic shapes. Everything seemed to glow with the same soft light that came from Zara's skin. "This is my home," Zara explained. "We call it Vela. It is very different from Earth." Lisa leaned forward, studying the beautiful images. "It's incredible. How many people live there?" The images changed, showing fewer and fewer people in the cities. Children playing in parks, but not very many of them. Adults walking alone through empty streets. The glow from the buildings seemed dimmer too. "Not many anymore," Zara said sadly. "We are dying out. Our children are born sick, and many do not survive. We have tried everything, but nothing works." Lisa felt her heart sink. "What's causing it?" "Our scientists say it is because we are too much the same. We need new blood, new life to mix with ours. Without it, we will disappear forever." The images faded, and Zara lowered her hands. Lisa could see tears in those beautiful violet eyes. "That's why you came here, isn't it? You're looking for help." "Yes. My people have been watching your world for many years. We learned your language, studied your ways. We discovered that humans and my people are not so different. Our bodies, our blood, they could work together." Lisa was quiet for a moment, trying to understand everything. "But why didn't your people just contact our governments? Why come alone?" Zara's expression grew worried. We tried to contact your leaders before, but every time we sent signals, your military responded with weapons. They saw us as invaders, not friends seeking help. This made sense to Lisa. She knew how the government worked. Any contact from space would be seen as a threat first, not an opportunity. So you came by yourself, Lisa said. That must have been terrifying. I volunteered, Zara said, and Lisa could hear the pride in her mental voice. I am what you would call a scientist. Like you, I study life and how it works. My leaders chose me because I understand both worlds. Lisa got up to pour 2 cups of coffee, offering one to Zara. Can you drink this? Zara took a careful sip and smiled. It is good. Bitter, but good. They sat in comfortable silence for a few minutes, both thinking about what they had learned. Finally, Lisa spoke up. How long have you been watching us? About 50 of your years. We have seen your cities grow, your technology advance. But we also saw your kindness, your care for other living things. That is why I chose to trust you. Lisa nearly choked on her coffee. You chose me, specifically? Zara nodded. I have been observing your work for 2 years. You search for life beyond your world, but you do it with hope, not fear. You care about preserving life, not destroying it. This revelation made Lisa feel strange. She had always felt alone in her work, like no one understood her passion for finding life in the universe. To learn that someone had been watching her, understanding her dreams, was both exciting and a little scary. What happens now? Lisa asked. What do you need from me? I need time to contact my people and tell them about you. But I also need to stay hidden from your military. If they find me, everything we have talked about will be impossible. Just then, Lisa's phone rang. The caller ID showed it was her supervisor at the research station. Her stomach dropped. I have to answer this, she told Zara. Hello, Dr. Peterson? Lisa. We need to talk. There were some unusual readings yesterday that we need to investigate. Can you come in early today? Lisa's mind raced. Actually, I'm not feeling well today. Could we discuss it tomorrow? This is important, Lisa. The readings suggest there might have been some kind of crash or landing in the desert. We need to check it out. Lisa looked at Zara, who was listening, with a worried expression. I understand, but I really can't make it in today. Food poisoning. I think. After she hung up, Zara spoke in her mind. They know something happened, yes, but they don't know what. We have some time, but not much. Lisa paced around the kitchen, thinking. We need to figure out what to do next. There is something else I must tell you, Zara said quietly. I cannot go back to my ship without completing my mission. If I return without finding a way to help my people, I will be considered a failure. And my people, they will lose hope. Lisa sat back down, feeling the weight of responsibility. What exactly is your mission? I need to find someone who can help bridge our 2 worlds. Someone who understands both science and the importance of life. Someone who can help convince others that we come in peace. Lisa stared at Zara for a long moment. You're asking me to help you save your entire species. I am asking you to help me save both our species, Zara corrected. Because if we can work together, both humans and my people will benefit. We have knowledge that could help Earth. And you have something we need to survive. Outside, Lisa could hear a helicopter. In the distance, they both looked toward the window, knowing that their peaceful morning was about to end. The real challenge was just beginning. The helicopter sound was getting closer. Lisa rushed to the window and saw the black helicopters flying low over the desert, heading straight toward her cabin. Her heart started racing. We need to leave, now, she told Zara, grabbing her backpack and throwing in some water bottles and food. Zara stood up quickly, her violet eyes wide with concern. Where can we go? There are caves in the hills about 10 miles from here. If we can get there, we can hide until they give up searching. Lisa grabbed her keys and headed for the back door. Can you run? Yes, but Lisa, there's something you should know. If they have the right equipment, they can track me. My body gives off energy that your machines can detect. Lisa stopped at the door. How much energy? Enough that they will find us if we stay in one place too long. The sound of the helicopters was right overhead now. Lisa could hear them. Landing near the front of her cabin, she opened the back door and looked out. The desert stretched endlessly behind her house, with rocky hills in the distance. "We'll have to take our chances," Lisa said. "Stay close to me." They ran out the back door and across the open desert. Lisa had hiked these hills many times, so she knew the best path to take. Behind them, she could hear car doors slamming and voices shouting orders. "Dr. Rodriguez, this is Colonel Martinez with the Air Force. We need to speak with you." Lisa and Zara kept running. The deserts had made it hard to move quickly, but they pushed forward. After about a mile, Lisa looked back and saw soldiers. With equipment spreading out from her cabin, they were definitely being hunted. "This way," Lisa said, leading Zara toward a dry riverbed that would give them some cover. As they climbed down into the rocky channel, something amazing happened. A small lizard ran across their path, and Zara stopped. She knelt down and gently touched the lizard with her finger. The little creature looked up at her, completely calm. "What are you doing?" Lisa whispered, asking for help. Zara said in her mind. Suddenly, the lizard ran off in a different direction. Within minutes, Lisa could hear it making noise about 100 yards away, drawing the attention of the soldiers. "You can talk to animals?" Lisa asked, amazed. "All living things have energy. I can feel it and sometimes communicate with it." Zara stood up and they continued moving. "It is how my people lived in harmony with our world." They climbed out of the riverbed and continued toward the hills. Lisa was getting tired, but Zara seemed to be getting stronger. The desert sun was shining directly on her skin, and she was glowing brighter than before. "The sunlight really does help you," Lisa observed. "Yes. On cloudy days, I feel weak, but today, I feel like I could run forever." They reached the base of the hills and started climbing up a rocky path. Lisa knew there was a cave system here that local kids used for exploring. If they could get inside, they might be able to hide until dark. Behind them, the soldiers were still searching, but they seemed to be moving in the wrong direction. The lizard had done its job well. "In here," Lisa said, leading Zara into a narrow opening between two large rocks. The cave was cool and dark. A welcome relief from the desert heat, Lisa used her phone's flashlight to guide them deeper inside. The cave was bigger than she remembered, with several tunnels branching off in different directions. "This is good," Lisa said, sitting down on a flat rock. "We could rest here for a while." Zara sat beside her, but she looked troubled. "Lisa, I'm sorry. I have brought danger to your life. You didn't choose to crash land here," Lisa said, "and I chose to help you. We're in this together now. But you had a peaceful life. You were safe. Now you are running from your own people because of me." Lisa thought about this. It was true that her life had been simple before yesterday. She went to work, came home, ate dinner alone, and went to bed. The same routine every day. "You know what?" Lisa said. "I wasn't really living before. I was just existing. For the first time in years, I feel like I'm part of something important." Zara looked at her with those beautiful violet eyes. "You are not afraid." "I'm terrified," Lisa admitted, "but I'm also more excited than I've ever been." "Do you realize what we're doing here? We're making history. We're proving that to completely different species can understand each other. On my world, we have a saying," Zara said. "The greatest discoveries come from the greatest risks." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, listening to the echoes of their own breathing in the cave. Lisa was surprised by how natural it felt to be here with Zara. Despite being from different worlds, they seemed to understand each other perfectly. "Can I ask you something personal?" Lisa said. "Of course. Do you have family back on your world? People who are waiting for you?" Zara's expression grew sad. "I had a sister. Her name was Kira. She died last year from the sickness that is killing our people. She was only 25 years old in your time." "I'm sorry," Lisa said, feeling a deep sadness for this woman who had lost so much. "She made me promise to find a way to save our people before I left. She said that if I could not save her, maybe I could save others like her." Lisa felt tears forming in her eyes. "That's why you volunteered for this mission?" "Yes, And also, because I had nothing left to lose. I have no family, no children. If I die trying to save my people, at least my death will have meaning. You're not going to die. Lisa said firmly, we're going to figure this out together. Just then, they heard voices echoing from outside the cave. The soldiers had found their trail. Dr. Rodriguez, we know you're in there. Come out and no one will be hurt. Lisa and Zara looked at each other. They were trapped. There has to be another way out. Lisa whispered, standing up and shining her phone light deeper into the cave. Zara stood up too, and suddenly her skin began glowing brighter. The light from her body lit up the entire cave, revealing something that made Lisa gasp. The walls were covered with ancient drawings, symbols that looked like they had been there. For thousands of years, Lisa, Zara said, her voice filled with wonder. These symbols, they are from my world. But how is that possible? Before Lisa could answer, the voices outside grew louder. The soldiers were coming into the cave. We need to move, Lisa said, grabbing Zara's hand. Now, they ran deeper into the cave system, following a tunnel that seemed to go on forever. Behind them, flashlight beams danced on the walls as the soldiers gave chase. Lisa didn't know where they were going, but she knew they had to keep moving. The mystery of the symbols would have to wait. Right now, survival was all that mattered. As they ran through the dark tunnels, Lisa couldn't help but think that her quiet life as a desert scientist was definitely over. But looking at Zara running beside her, glowing like a beacon of hope in the darkness, Lisa realized she didn't want her old life back anyway. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. The tunnel seemed to go on forever. Lisa and Zara had been running for what felt like hours, following the winding path deeper into the cave system. Behind them, the voices of the soldiers had faded away, but Lisa knew they weren't safe yet. Finally, they reached a large underground chamber. Zara's glowing skin lit up the space, revealing something that took Lisa's breath away. The entire chamber was covered in ancient drawings, symbols, and pictures that looked like they told a story. This is incredible, Lisa whispered, walking closer to the walls. The drawings showed people who looked like humans standing next to figures that looked remarkably like Zara. They were working together, sharing knowledge, and living in peace. Some pictures showed the tall, glowing figures teaching humans about plants and healing. Others showed humans and the visitors building things together. My people, Zara said softly, touching one of the drawings. They have been here before. Lisa studied the symbols more carefully. These look really old, like thousands of years old. Yes, my people have been visiting your world for a very long time, but we never stayed. We only came to observe and learn. Lisa found a drawing that showed the glowing visitors leaving Earth, flying away in objects that looked like seeds or pods. Why did they leave? Because your people were not ready. Every time we tried to make contact, there was fear and violence. So we decided to watch from far away, hoping that someday things would change. Lisa walked around the chamber, studying more of the drawings. In one corner, she found something that made her heart race. It was a picture of two figures, one human and one like Zara, standing together with their hands joined. Around them were small figures that looked like children, but they had features of both species. Zara, look at this, Lisa called out. Zara came over and saw the drawing. Her violet eyes grew wide. I cannot believe it. This shows exactly what we hoped to find. What do you mean? The children in this picture. They are part human, part Velani. This proves that our species can have children together. Our scientists believed it was possible, but we were never sure. Lisa stared at the ancient drawing. So this has happened before? Long ago, yes. But those children and their families disappeared from history. We never knew what happened to them. They sat down on some flat rocks in the center of the chamber. Lisa felt overwhelmed by everything they had discovered. So your people have been trying to connect with humans for thousands of years. Yes. And every time, the same thing happens. Fear drives us apart. Zara looked sad. Maybe it is impossible. Maybe our species are meant to stay separate. Or maybe, Lisa said, we just needed to find the right time and the right people. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, both thinking about what they had learned. The ancient drawings seemed to glow in the light from Zara's skin, as if they were trying to tell them something important. "Lisa," Zara said finally, "I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Of course, are you helping me because you feel sorry for me, or because you think it's the right thing to do?" Lisa thought carefully before answering. "At first, I helped you because I'm a scientist and I was curious. Then I helped you because I could see you were in trouble and needed help. And now," Lisa looked at Zara, really looked at her, despite being from another world, despite having purple eyes and glowing skin. Zara felt more real to her than anyone she had ever known. "Now I'm helping you because I care about you, as a person, as a friend." Zara smiled, and Lisa felt warmth in her heart. "I care about you too, Lisa, more than I expected to." "What does that mean for us?" Lisa asked. "It means I have to make a choice that will change everything." Zara stood up and walked to the center of the chamber. "I can contact my ship and tell them I failed. I can say that humans are not ready for contact, and I can go home. What would happen then? My people would continue to die slowly. But you could go back to your normal life. The soldiers would stop hunting you. You could pretend none of this ever happened." Lisa felt a cold fear in her stomach. "And the other choice? I can contact my ship and tell them I found someone who can help. I can ask them to send a small group to meet with you, together. We could try to convince both our peoples that cooperation is possible. What would happen to me if we did that? Your life would never be the same. You would become the first human ambassador to my people. You would have to leave your world behind, at least for a while. And there would be no guarantee that either of our peoples would accept what we're trying to do." Lisa walked around the chamber again, looking at all the ancient drawings. The pictures showed cooperation, friendship, and hope. But she also knew that the real world was more complicated than cave drawings. "If I said yes," Lisa said slowly, "what would happen to you? I would become the first of my people to live on Earth. I would help teach humans about our species and learn more about yours. We would be partners in something that has never been tried before. And if I said no, I would respect your choice. I would return to my ship and tell them to leave Earth alone. You would be safe, and your life would go back to normal." Lisa sat down on a rock and put her head in her hands. This was the biggest decision of her life, and she had to make it in a cave, hiding from soldiers, with no time to think it through properly. "How long do I have to decide?" "Not long. My ship will start looking for me soon. If I don't contact them in the next few hours, they will assume I'm dead and they will leave." Lisa looked up at Zara, who was standing in the center of the chamber, with her arms crossed, trying to look brave. But Lisa could see the fear in her eyes. Zara was scared too. "Can I ask you something?" Lisa said. "Anything. If you go back to your ship and tell them humans aren't ready, what happens to you?" Zara looked away. "I will be given another assignment. Perhaps I will become a teacher, or work in the healing centers. But you'll always wonder what might have happened if you had tried harder." "Yes." Lisa stood up and walked over to Zara. "And if we try this crazy plan and it fails, what happens to you then?" "I will probably be exiled from my people for making contact without permission. I will never be able to go home again. So either way, you're giving up everything." "Yes. But if we succeed, I will be helping to save both our species. That's worth any risk." Lisa looked around the chamber one more time. The ancient drawings seemed to be telling her that this moment had been coming for thousands of years. Maybe her whole life had been preparing her for this choice. "What do you think those ancient people would tell us to do?" Lisa asked. "I think they would tell us to be brave, to try, even if we might fail." Lisa took a deep breath. She thought about her quiet life in the desert, her empty cabin, her routine days at the research station. Then she thought about the possibility of being part of something bigger, something that could change the future for both humans and Zara's people. "Okay," Lisa said. "Let's do it. Let's try to save both our worlds." Zara's face lit up with joy and relief. "Are you sure?" "No, I'm not sure at all. I'm terrified." but I'm also more excited than I've ever been in my life." They heard voices echoing from the tunnels again. The soldiers had found their trail. "We need to contact your ship now," Lisa said. "Before they find us." Zara nodded and closed her eyes. Her skin began glowing brighter, and Lisa could feel energy filling the air around them. Whatever happened next, there was no going back now. Zara's skin glowed brighter than Lisa had ever seen it. The entire cave chamber was filled with soft, pulsing light as Zara reached out with her mind to contact her ship. Lisa watched in amazement as streams of light seemed to flow from Zara's hands toward the cave ceiling. "Are you talking to them?" Lisa whispered. "Yes. I am telling them about you, about what we have discovered here." Zara's voice in Lisa's mind sounded strained, like she was using a lot of energy. The light show continued for several minutes. Lisa could hear the soldiers getting closer, but she was mesmerized by what was happening. Finally, the light faded, and Zara opened her eyes. "It is done," she said, looking exhausted but happy. "My ship is coming down to meet us." "What did you tell them about me?" "I told them that I found a human who understands that we are not enemies. I told them about your kindness, your intelligence, and your willingness to help both our peoples." Lisa felt nervous butterflies in her stomach. "What did they say?" "They are surprised, but hopeful. They are sending 3 representatives to meet with us. They will land in the desert near your cabin in 1 hour." Just then, they heard Colonel Martinez's voice echoing through the caves. "Dr. Rodriguez, we have the cave surrounded. Come out, and we can talk about this." Lisa and Zara looked at each other. They were trapped with no way out. "Maybe we should surrender," Lisa said. "If we explain everything to them, maybe they'll understand." "No," Zara said firmly. "Your military will separate us. They will lock me away, and you will never see me again. Then my people will think I was captured, and they will leave." "But how do we get out of here?" Zara smiled mysteriously. "There is something I have not told you about my people. We are very good at moving through the earth." Before Lisa could ask what that meant, Zara placed her hands on the cave wall. Her skin began glowing again, and something incredible happened. The rock began to soften and move, creating a tunnel that led upward. "How are you doing that?" Lisa asked, amazed. "Rock is alive, just like plants and animals. It just moves very slowly. I'm asking it to help us." They climbed through the tunnel that Zara was creating. It was like following a path through soft clay, but the walls were solid rock. After about 10 minutes of climbing, they emerged from a small opening on the side of the hill, far from where the soldiers were searching. "That was incredible," Lisa said, brushing dirt from her clothes. "What else can you do?" "Many things, but right now, we need to get to the meeting place." They hiked across the desert toward Lisa's cabin. In the distance, they could see the military vehicles and helicopters still searching the cave area. The sun was setting, painting the sky in beautiful shades of orange and pink. "Are you scared?" Lisa asked as they walked. "Yes, but also excited. This is the first time in thousands of years that our peoples will meet as friends instead of strangers." When they reached the area near Lisa's cabin, they didn't have to wait long. A soft humming sound filled the air, and suddenly a ship appeared above them. It was beautiful, looking like a large version of the pod that Zara had arrived in. The ship landed gently on the sand without making any noise. 3 figures stepped out of the ship. They all looked similar to Zara, with glowing skin and violet eyes, but each was unique. One was tall and elderly looking, with silver hair. Another was younger, with short dark hair and kind eyes. The third was about Zara's age, with long golden hair that seemed to shine with its own light. "Lisa," Zara said, "these are my people. The elder is Kef, our leader. The younger one is Nira, our best healer. And the golden-haired one is Jara, our communications specialist." Lisa felt nervous as the 3 approached. Kef stepped forward and spoke, and Lisa was surprised to hear words out loud, instead of just in her mind. "Lisa Rodriguez," Kef said, in accented but clear English, "Zara has told us much about you. We are honored to meet the first human who welcomed us with friendship." "I'm honored to meet you too," Lisa replied, not sure if she should shake hands or bow. Keth smiled and extended his hand. When Lisa shook it, she felt a warm, tingling sensation. "We have much to discuss," he said. "But first, we must deal with your military friends." As if on cue, helicopters appeared over the hill, flying straight toward them. Lisa's heart sank. "They have been found. Don't worry," Nira said, stepping forward. "We will handle this." The helicopters landed, and soldiers jumped out with weapons ready. Colonel Martinez approached with his hands visible, but ready to give orders. "Nobody move," he shouted. "Dr. Rodriguez, step away from the aliens. They're not aliens." Lisa called back. "They're visitors, and they come in peace." "That's not your decision to make, Doctor." Keth stepped forward, his hands raised peacefully. "Colonel Martinez," he said calmly, "we mean no harm to you or your people. We came here seeking help, not to cause trouble." The colonel looked shocked. That Keth knew his name and could speak English. "How do you know who I am?" "We have been observing your world for many years. We know much about your people, your languages, your customs. We have been waiting for the right time to make contact, and you thought kidnapping one of our scientists was the right way to do it?" "Nobody kidnapped me," Lisa said, stepping forward. "I chose to help them because I learned they're not here to invade. They're here because they need our help to save their species." For the next hour, there was a tense but peaceful conversation. Keth explained about their dying world, their need for genetic diversity, and their desire to work together with humans. He showed Colonel Martinez some of the same holographic images that Zara had shown Lisa. Gradually, the soldiers lowered their weapons. Colonel Martinez was still suspicious, but he was also fascinated by what he was learning. "This is way above my authority level," he finally said. "I need to contact my superiors." "We understand," Keth replied, "but we ask that you allow Lisa to come with us as our first human ambassador. She can help both our peoples understand each other." Lisa looked at Colonel Martinez, then at Zara and her people, then back at the colonel. "I want to go with them. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Dr. Rodriguez, you could be putting yourself in serious danger." "I could also be helping to save two entire species," Lisa replied. "Isn't that worth the risk?" After many phone calls and discussions, an agreement was reached. Lisa would go with Zara's people for 6 months, living part-time on their ship and part-time on Earth. She would serve as a bridge between the two worlds, helping to establish peaceful relations and cooperation. The night before her departure, Lisa stood in her cabin one last time. Everything looked the same, but she felt completely different. In just a few days, her entire life had changed. Zara found her there, packing a small bag of personal items. "Are you having second thoughts?" Zara asked. "No," Lisa said. "I'm just thinking about how strange life is. A week ago, I was lonely and bored. Now I'm about to become the first human to live with an alien species." "Not alien," Zara corrected with a smile. "Family." Lisa looked at her friend, this amazing woman who had changed her life completely. "What do you think will happen to us?" "I think we are going to discover things that neither of our peoples ever imagined. I think we are going to learn that the universe is much more connected than we realized. And personally, what happens to us personally?" Zara took Lisa's hand. "I think we are going to become something new, something that has never existed before." The next morning, Lisa said goodbye to her old life and stepped aboard the ship. As they lifted off from the desert, she looked down at the earth below. It looked so small and fragile from up here, but also beautiful. "Ready to see your new home?" Zara asked. Lisa smiled. "I'm ready for anything." 6 months later, Lisa stood in a specially built facility that existed both on Earth and connected to Zara's ship. She was no longer just Dr. Lisa Rodriguez, the lonely scientist. She was now the first human Villani ambassador, helping to establish colonies where both species could live and work together. The project was still new and sometimes difficult, but it was working. Human scientists were learning amazing things from Villani technology, while Villani people were finding hope for their species' future. Most importantly, Lisa had found something she never expected to find. She had found her place in the universe. And she had found love in the most unexpected place of all. As she stood watching human and Vellani children playing together in the facility's garden, Lisa realized that the ancient cave drawings had been right all along. The two species were meant to be together, and their future was brighter than either could have imagined alone. The invasion that never was had become the cooperation that would save two worlds.